hey, welcome to the show. Secondhand blasters, let's go, let's go. Gonna break it down, piece by piece. Nerf's got a secret we'll release.
What is up, Nerf Nation? It's your boy Normatico, and I am here with another blaster review of those things that, we are going to be reviewing today. A blaster that I've never actually seen this company on my channel before. I do know that they have 3 different blasters. I'm talking about Huntsman, and to be honest, they really don't exist in the stores in my area. Now, the one that I've always seen listed online is the Huntsman 50 or the double barrel boomstick. I believe that's also, I want to say it's like similar to something that X-Shot made a long time ago. Now, the Huntsman 50, I've seen people post it on Facebook Marketplace, and I've seen people talk about it. It's the long sniper rifle looking thing, and I actually have one of those. Now, I've never actually had time to put it on the channel yet, but I'll tell you that it doesn't perform very well, but it's for looks. Supposedly you can put some K26 in there and it can hold it, but I can't verify that until I've actually done it myself. But that being said, Target actually had the following blaster available, and we're going to unbox it now because it just came in today. Now, I will tell you that the Huntsman 50, it retails right around $50. The one that I have, in my opinion, not worth it. But you do with that information what you will. Let's see what's in this box here, because I hope that this one is a little bit better, and if not, maybe it's at least an honest blaster. So, of course, when the box was delivered today, it was left out in the snow. I had to let it thaw for a little bit, but that's fine. I don't know where my viewers are at, but I am in Central Ohio, and today it was actually a very cold and balmy 8 degrees. For those of you who are in Celsius temperatures, that is negative 15 Celsius. Yeah. What I have is a box of packing paper. It's a box in a box. It's boxception. So we are looking at the Huntsman Big Brute. Yes, the Big Brute. Now, this blaster actually retails on Target. I want to say it's like $23. And it is a hammer action harmonica style clip. So, yeah. Okay. Or sorry, harmonica magazine. Now, let's take a look here. It does come with up to 9 darts. And it does say that it can blast up to 60 feet / 18 meters. So I'm going to call it right now. This should hit right around 55 FPS, maybe 60 with the included darts. And we'll see how that works. Now, it does look really cool. You know, it's called the Big Brute, and it is a big hammer action blaster. Normally, most hammer actions are revolvers. This is not. It's just a harmonica clip. So, yeah, it does claim to hold 6 darts. It comes with 9, so you can reload half once. Why 9? Why not just go 12? Okay, whatever. I'm sorry, I said Laramie. No, this is actually Lanard. Lanard Huntsman. My apologies. Point is, I've never reviewed one of their products before. So, let's take a look here. The box item. Now, it is said that it's for ages 6 and up. I have a general rule of thumb that when I see ages 6 and up, unless there's something that is promised here, I got to assume that it's not that great performance-wise. But when I see that it says up to 60 feet, I'm going to hold it to the standard that it sets itself, and we'll see. Now, I'm not going to be able to do outdoor testing in the snow, so yeah, I'll have to verify that one later on. We're going to use the chronograph to judge. I'm expecting at least 55 FPS out of this. If you're going to claim 60 feet, you better hit 55 FPS. Just saying. Now, that is well below Nerf standards, so we'll see. If it's fun, I might forgive it, but I don't know. I bought this one because, as I said in my previous videos, somebody has to spend money on crap. Okay, so looking at this blaster right here, it does not split open. It is not a break action, which means that you have to load this harmonica clip in a very weird fashion. So you have to load one side, drop it down, load the bottom. Okay, and then hammer action pulls the clip up. You fire. Okay, well that's kind of gentle. All right. So let's actually load this baby up with the darts. These are an interesting looking tip. These look similar to the ones that come with the Huntsman. The Huntsman, I believe that they come with red with black tips. These are actually just orange with darker orange tips. Since you only get 9 of them, and as far as I can tell, you can't buy these darts separately. So I'm going to deduct points on the way that they package their darts, because it is really hard to get this packaging open without risking cutting up the darts, and that's not a good time for anybody. Maybe that's why it has such low performance, is because the darts are damaged by the time you pull them out of the packaging. Because they are very tightly packed inside this container. There we go. Let's go ahead and load up. Now, the darts do fit very tightly in their, I guess, their holders here. So that's nice. That tends to increase numbers when something's shot out. Mainly because of the fact that there's no real barrel, actually. The magazine acts as the barrel. So much like a shell-ejected blaster, which is fine, the actual shell that you're mounting these darts into acts as the barrel. There are pegs here, which of course you could probably remove, and that would maybe give you a little bit more airflow to increase the performance by like maybe 1 or 2 FPS, and also allow you to do half darts. So that is a possibility. And then let's see here. Well, I mean, it doesn't hurt too much, so we'll have to see how it works. But there it is. That is the Big Brute. Now, it does not have a tactical rail at all. It just has an iron sight here, and that is, let me see. It could stand to be a little bit taller. It's a very, very low iron sight. Get that in front of the camera there. You can see it, but the actual hammer mechanism kind of gets in the way. So when you prime that, thankfully that actually stays down, and you can see what you're doing. So yes, you can aim with it. Not the most comfortable iron sight to aim with, but it is there. Now, this was actually designed in 2023, which means it did not get released until 2024. So, yeah. I will tell you that the handle, for an adult hand, it is actually pretty comfortable. It's not too bulky, but it is blocky enough and cartoonish enough to make it fun. So, we'll see. Now, I will tell you, though, that performance-wise, if this thing does not perform well for a... shall we say, a basement battle, this is not going to be something to be used for cosplay because of this nonsense right here. Now, of course, if you did want to use the shell as a cosplay piece and remove the magazine, I'm sure that's something you could do, because the shell itself, when you actually take away this clip magazine thing, it looks pretty fun. You know, you could paint this up and have a good time with it. You know, you just have to putty that to cover it, and you can have yourself a nice little prop here. But again, that's about what I see so far. Let's talk about performance. I mean, I can tell you, firing it, well, it's got some bounce, so who knows? It might show some promise. Maybe this will be an office warfare blaster, because again, with 6 shots, you're looking at enough, you know, for just playing around the house, playing around an office. If you have an office Nerf 4, there's something you can whip out and start blasting. You know, it is large enough that it would be fun and goofy, but still small enough you can hide inside of a desk drawer if you don't have anything else inside of it. So that is who this might be for, because I can't see this realistically being in a Nerf battle outside at a club event. So, but yeah, let's run through the chronograph and see what we get here. All right, so here I am with my final thoughts regarding the Lanard Big Brute. You know, I want to recommend this blaster. I do. I really would love to recommend it. I enjoy it. It's fun. It's quirky. The hammer action, it's okay. Normally I'd like a revolver. That's fine. I understand that it's probably cheaper to make something like this instead of a 6-shooter revolver. That we don't have to worry about a rotating mechanism. And it does have a decent power behind it. You are looking at getting roughly what you get with a hammer shot. So it said up to 60 feet, and I recorded on my chronograph well over 60 sometimes when I used Nerf Standard Elite darts. In fact, the darts that I shot with were the Icon series darts that I had. So I need to point out why I cannot give it my full recommendation. So let me adjust my seat here because you get 9 darts from Lanard that are made for this blaster. Now, the blaster itself is designed for standard dart sizes. So what does that mean? In my opinion, it should mean that any standard length dart should be able to fire from this blaster. I tested every single available dart type in my arsenal. Now, when I say this, understand that I have standard length bamboo darts, standard length ruby darts, standard length nitro shot darts. I have standard length ammo sting, which are the fake elite darts. I have standard length little Valentine darts. I have standard length ray gun, whatever the heck their name is, darts. I have all sorts of generic dart types, the FVJs that everyone hates. Why do I have them? Because whenever you get blasters from people, they give you the darts that they have, and that's what people buy because you can buy them in bulk for cheap. Okay. And I have also bought standard, length stuff off of Temu because of the fact that you never know what you're going to get. So it's like, all right, for $2, yeah, I'll take 100 darts. Of course, they're FVJs. I can cut them up and use them in springers. So here's why I'm mentioning this. The only 2 dart types that I'm able to fire out of all of the darts in all of Nerfdom are by Lanard and the Elite style darts from Nerf. Now, I tested with the Fortnite branded darts from Nerf. They fired. I tested with the Icon series branded Nerf. They fired. I tested with the Elite 2.0. They fired also. So I'm assuming that it's just something in the way that Nerf designed their dart, that it can be fired from this thing. I believe that what's causing the issue is the pegs being a little too thick. They hold the darts in the middle. Because let me show you what happens when I try to muscle in this Max Ruby dart, okay, which is standard length. I'll show you the head so you can see it is dart zone in here. Now that is very hard to fit in there. Not all the way in. Still not all the way in. I'm starting to damage the dart now. Still not all the way in. It doesn't want to go in all the way. Why? Because the way the peg is set up at the bottom. Cue the innuendo. Dart zone's dart, its hole is a little too tight. See what I did there? Anyways, so yeah, it can actually fit in the blaster. As you can see, it clears. Now let's see what happens when you try to fire it. Nothing came out, right? Still nothing? Let's try again. Well then, it's stuck. The same thing happened with the Adventure Force waffle darts, which are the most common dart type that we use in the hobby for standard lengths. Same thing happened with every other standard length, including the Nerf AccuStrike darts. Yeah. So something about those pegs is catching every dart type but the elite darts and the Lanard darts. Now, again, elite darts are easy to come by. You can still find those. You probably have several of them in your collection. But because of the fact that it is not necessarily something that can be used with all standard darts, and it seems like I'm not going to make any allegations about who designed this, but it seems like it was designed with a specific dart type in mind that is very difficult to find. I can't give it the full throated recommendation it deserves because, again, it's a fun blaster. I like the design. I like the form factor of it. You know, it's a hammer action. It's a big, goofy looking revolver, and it's easy to load. You know, that harmonica style clip, it's fun. You know, you can actually load it. It's a lot less complicated to load than I thought it was going to be. And it's smooth, you know, and it performs pretty well for what it is. So I can't recommend it to you, you know. It's a shame because I feel like this is a better representation of what Lanard could do as a product than the Huntsman 50. So there you have it. You know, $26 is what I paid for this thing. Is it worth the cost of admission? Frankly, not really. No, it's not. Because what it is, while it's cool, there's better options that are less expensive. You could probably get an Adventure Force branded blaster that performs similarly. In fact, I'm pretty sure that about 3 years ago they had something similar to this, except it was a side harmonica clip. And that was only like $14 or $15. So paying $10 more for something that performs about the same, but has a cool shell, obviously, I mean, it does have a cool shell, it's not worth it in my opinion. You know, that is some Hasbro level of, shall we say, fuckery, without them having Hasbro's name. Because Lanard, who the heck is Lanard in the grand scheme of things? But let's talk about other things on this blaster. It is both a boon, but also a curse. This design here, it's very clean, very neat. You know, big brute, good color scheme. Upon further inspection, I didn't notice this when I first grabbed the blaster. I'm noticing it now. That is a sticker. So eventually, as this thing gets, you know, older and time goes by, this is going to start to peel off. That decal is going to rip off. It's going to start to look nasty, and you're going to be left with a blank blaster. Now, if you're wanting to paint something, that's okay. That's cool. That's neat. You just strip that off. You paint it. There you go. Which then just emphasizes my point of what this blaster is valid for. It's a shell to paint. So, yeah, it's not a bad blaster. It's not. It is. It is not. It rides the fine line of bad and mediocre and kind of good at the same time. So there's that fine gap that it's riding, and there's a lot of things that are pointing to being it's okay to good. But there's a couple of big ones that are dragging it into the bad blaster territory, especially at the $26 price point. So, who is this blaster for? You know, for an adult, it's comfortable. You know, office warfare, this will be great. Just make sure to recover your darts because you'll eventually run out of them. For a small kid, it might be a little hard for them to grip because of the fact that, look, I'm a full-size adult, and that reach, it's fine for me, but even then, it's still a stretch. So a smaller child is going to have a harder time. So it says 6 and up. Yes, it's safe for 6 and up. The power behind it is not going to blind anybody that I know of. I do recommend using eye protection no matter what because it is a projectile that shoots. And especially if you're shooting with elite darts, you can aim for somebody's groin or their chest or their belly, and next thing you know, they're blind because the dart veered up and shot them right in the eye. It happens. According to Reddit, it's happened a lot lately, apparently. But whatever. I'm not going to get into the politics of that. So, yeah, there you have it, folks. That is the Big Brute, the Huntsman Big Brute by Lanard. It is a $26 blaster available to be purchased via the Target app. That's where I've seen it. If you are in other regions of the country, they might have it available at like a Menards, or maybe even in a Kmart if there's one nearby you. My understanding is that Huntsman was available when Kmart were brick and mortar stores. So there you go. But for those of you who have the Target app, feel free to look it up. And if you want to torture yourself the way that I did, trying to load up different dart types to test, please, by all means. Now, I will tell you, simple modification to probably get rid of that dart issue is just by, like I said, removing the pegs. I do not see where that is going to cause a problem. I would probably do that myself, if not for the fact that I had promised another reviewer that I would send this to them. So yeah, we'll see what they can do with this. I want to thank you all for watching Secondhand Blasters. Until next time, y'all, keep on blasting.